Okay, we're given a cubic equation that'll have three solutions to it, and then they want me to find the value of 16 times x to the seventh plus x squared. All right. So we went through the paper and pencil work, and then what I want to do is I want to check it out. All right. So let's go through that, and I'll explain what we're doing each step of the way. So reset, basically just clear out any prior information from prior problems. Define x to be a variable. Whoops. X is a variable. And then the function. I'm not going to copy paste this, but I'll go back over the original problem and show you where this is. Okay, that's 8x cubed, 2x minus 1. All right, that's the function, right? We want to solve it, and the way we're going to do that is we're going to assign it s. There's going to be three solutions to it, and we're going to solve. And what are we solving? F of x is equal to 0. And we're solving for x. Okay, let me explain that to you. F of x is the left-hand side. We're solving for 0. We're basically finding the roots of it. Now, if you display s, so it gives me these like numbers that are pretty difficult to deal with. All right. So if you want to access those numbers, you don't have to type them in again. You're just going to type in s. And for example, I want the first solution. I would say s0. Whoops. That's the first one. And then dot. Whoops. That's a matrix. I should say it's really a vector because they're listing elements in it. Right-hand side. Dot right-hand side. Now, whoops, I keep making mistakes here. Right-hand side. And I got that number. Now, what'd you just get over there? It's the first element of that matrix. All right, that vector. All right. Now, yeah, I want to type that in. It looks pretty complicated. But really what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to evaluate these things over here. So what I'll do is go back over here and explain to you what the next line of code is. And next line of code is basically taking a new function. I'll call it g of x. I'm going to copy paste, but I'll go back over the notes and explain that to you. And g of x is what they want me to compute. All right, g of x is 16 x to the 7th plus x squared. And what I want to do is I want to evaluate g at those values and see what happens. And you might be surprised that you're going to be confused by that as well. And we'll talk about that. All right. So first thing is if I want to evaluate g at the first solution, I type in S0, right-hand side, and let me hit return over there. And again, it's wacky looking number there. And you could approximate it. Let me do that for you. And that's going to be n. That's a numerical approximation command. And I get this over here, which someone says, it doesn't even look anything like your answer. And there's a problem with that. And I realize that, certainly Sage is giving me what looks like a complex number, but the first number I'm given is the real part. And I'm going to say that's 1/8. All right. Now, someone says, well, that's not exactly the same. And you're right. Sage is approximating the number, and they're not doing a terribly good job at it. But that's really, to me, it's like 1.2499999. If that goes on forever, it's actually the same thing as 1/8. Now, someone says, how about that complex part to it? If you notice over here, it is an approximate, and that approximate is going to be close to 0 for that. And why is that? That's 10 to the minus 16th, an incredibly small number. So what I want to do, I'm going to try another command. It's not listed over here, which is Boolean. And the Boolean I'm going to type in is this thing over here. Let me copy paste it. And I don't know what Sage is going to do. Equals 1 divided by 8. All right, you notice it's paused now. And someone says, what's the pause about? And I don't really know what the pause is about. My machine is still working, but the bottom line is, I'm sorry, not Google, but Sage is probably looking at this thing and saying, how do I compare these two? Right? And I'm going to say, taking too long right now, I'm just going to do Control-C and get out of there. Let me clear the screen. And what I want to do, I'm going to do the same thing that I did before, but I'm not going to do 0, I'm going to do 1. That's a second solution to the problem that we just solved. And what do you get there? The same thing, 0.125, which is 1/8. The complex part is really small. Let's do the third solution in. And again, this is a way for me to verify what I believe to be true. All right, 1 point. That's exactly on mark, by the way. So that really worked out pretty well. So they're all resulting in the same conclusion that we came in the at least approximately coming to the same conclusion that we got. That it's 1/8. Thank you.